Hello everybody, MicroSpecGamer here. So today I'll be discussing about the TF2 classes and where do I think they should be, like how good are they? So just to not confuse you guys, the 2 week part, I'm sure I'm not going to put anyone there just because every class in the game is necessary and none of them are truly too weak. Although some people might have different opinions, I have my own opinion, and I respect that if you guys have different opinions. So what I did here is the highest one is Generalist, which is good in any situation. Then I have Semi-Generalist, which is almost as good for any situation, but they do have some areas where they're a bit weak. Then there's the situational, very situational, and too weak. And I'm sure there won't be any classes here. I'll put it in this area. I might even delete it, honestly. You know what? I'm just gonna delete it because I don't think any class in the game is too weak. You can be effective in any class. Just that it's gonna be harder and harder. So for the first one, it's Demoman, and I'm actually gonna put him. Where should I put him? Generalist, but he's definitely in the lower tier. Is because he has great damage, he has great mobility, but his survivability is pretty low because he doesn't have. He's not the tankiest class. He's pretty much as tanky as a Pyro, but he does have one major weakness, which is he only has explosives. But he is a generalist because he can be played as defense and offense at the same time, although he's classified as defense in the game. Then we have the engineer, and the engineer, kind of hard to put him. Like, I'm not sure where I would put him, honestly, because he's very good. You know what? I'll put him at. He's good almost in every situation, but I think he does have a huge weakness. Alone, he's pretty weak. He's like a worse version of a scout. Although I know people like Uncle Dane or an engineer main, they can definitely disprove me. But you know, not everyone is Uncle Dane. If you guys know who Uncle Dane is, he's a famous Team Fortress 2 YouTuber that usually plays or mains engineer, and I'm sure he can definitely put him in generous if we really put him there. Like, I'm sure he can do that. An engineer, I think he's good at defense, very good at defense. He can also be in offense. The gunslinger is good for that. Also, you can use the Wrangler, the Eureka effect to actually be like a semi-spy. You can go behind enemy lines and attack them from behind if you place a teleporter. But overall, he's very good. So I'll place him right here. Just not good in every situation because he does have huge weaknesses. The heavy is good in both defense and offense, but I put him in the situational area because he's not that good alone. He's very slow. He's super tanky, which I like, but he's very slow. He has a lot of weaknesses. Sure, he can take on multiple people, and he has the minigun that can shoot for a while. I mean, you should never face a heavy alone unless if you know you can win. And also, heavy is the tankiest class, but he's very slow. So usually I would say he's better at defense, although in offense you can also use him. The Gloves of Running Urgently is an example. Just that he's just very slow. I don't see him. I know that people that usually watch Big Joey, they would probably disapprove of this one, but heavy is just too slow to be a generalist or a semi-generalist here. The medic. He's needed in every scenario, I would say. I'm sure everyone can agree with that. Medic is the backbone of every team in Team Fortress 2. Without a medic, I'm sure you're guaranteed to lose if you don't have a medic on your team and the other has a medic. If they both have a medic, it depends on who's more competent, who's going to uber charge at the correct time. Also, if you guys are maining medics, you should always use the uber saw and the crossbow. they're too good. They're pretty much a direct upgrade to every weapon for the medic. Unless if you want to see the health bar summon Vo, I guess that could help maybe in some situations. So yeah, not much explaining on to why medic is the most important one here. I would even put him right here. Pyro. He's very good. I would actually put him right here. He's the third fastest character if you include the power jack. He can air blast projectiles. He's pretty much a direct counter to the Demoman. And his only major weakness is that he doesn't have much range. And he cannot do much damage from afar. I know the flare gun can do a lot of damage, but you have to have good accuracy. And also, the detonator, you might detonate multiple people on fire, but he's pretty inefficient against other pyros. Which is kind of weird, but Pyro against Pyro is pretty much his own weakness as well, aside from snipers. But I put him here because he's very good with Engineer. He can help in... He's one of the only classes that can negate an Uber from the medic. So he's pretty important. He's one of the more important ones. I would say he's better at... He can be played as defense or offense, but he's mostly like support. The Scout, I put him at... some people might not agree with me with this one, but I would put him at semi-generalist, and not generalist because he has a very weak point, which is he's very squishy. Engineer hard counters him. The sentry is pretty much a shutdown for a scout. But he's pretty much the best one to take out medics from behind or even Demoman. He's actually direct counter to Demoman as well because of his speed and double jump. And he has great damage output, but he's just too squishy to be any higher. And especially when you're fighting an engineer. Unless if the engineer isn't set up or you put the... he has a poor sentry placement. That's when the scout usually shines though. Like he's best at flanking. And he's a flanker and does a lot of damage. Like usually you will not see this in most games that have a flanker. But that's why I put him here and not up here. Competitive players like Bunny, I'm sure, would probably say otherwise. Now, the Sniper. Sniper, if you perfect Sniper, he can be good in every situation. But this is not really about skill ceiling, it's more of how you play the character. So I would put him right here. He can, of course, he cannot really tank much, but if you know how to use him, he's good at offense and defense. And you have to keep moving a sniper. You cannot stay in the same area. A mistake that a lot of snipers do. It's not really a good spot to be in if you're gonna just keep being in the same area. Eventually, a spy or another sniper or even a pyro might ambush you. Especially scouts. Scouts that have a bonk of atomic punch will definitely counter you pretty hard, even if you're the best sniper. So put him here just because he's good at offense, defense, and support. But most likely he's best for support, taking out heavy targets such as the heavy. But he's also pretty good. If you're very good with him, I would definitely put him at Generalist because he can be efficient at everything, which is why also hackers and cheaters use him more often, which I actually disapprove of what's going on with the game. The next one is Soldier. Kind of a no-brainer. He's good at every situation. He's like the in-between generalist of every class. He can be good at everything, but he's also not great at everything or any. He's not specialized on one thing. He has a shotgun, a rocket launcher, great damage output, and also has a shotgun in case if the vaccinator medic, if there's a vaccinator medic that has to change the resistance every time. They don't have the weakness of the Demoman because they have both hit scan and projectile weapons, and he's the second tankiest character, which is really big deal. Also, you can also change his secondary to heal other people, be like a semi-medic, which could also be pretty useful. And I would say he's probably arguably the second best in 1v1s, just because Scout is there and he can counter his rockets. But yeah, he's pretty good in almost every situation. Now the Spy. This is where I'll just put him here. There are many reasons why I would put him here, is just because he is, I wouldn't say weakest, but he's very situational. In the regular casual servers, he's more effective because, you know, there are more new people there and they're not really aware of the Spy as often. But its Kaizes and invisibility can only take you so much before you're gonna die almost constantly. And sure, you can be very good at Spy, and you can take out sentries, but there are so many other characters that can do the same, like an overcharged soldier. I mean, you can argue also overcharged anyone can pretty much take out a sentry or a building, but any of these characters can destroy or counter engineer, aside from maybe Scout. And Sniper is just, or not Sniper, Spy. I mean, Spy and Sniper are pretty much very similar to each other because they do one shot. But Spy, the only thing you have to do, the only way to counter Spy is pretty easy. Just be aware of your surroundings. And he is a counter to the Heavy, but if you're a proper Heavy, you can counter a Spy. Any of these classes can counter a Spy, even a Medic. I mean, if a Spy gets too close to you, just hit him with the Ubusa or Meal Whip, and he's gonna die pretty quickly. It's squishy as a Scout. Unless if he has Deadwinger, but eventually he cannot do much. He only has the revolver, which doesn't do... It does do a lot of damage, but it's not really the main focus of a Spy. That'll be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's just that I made this list just because I feel like I need to discuss about like the classes here, like each one and where they're specifically good at. Like no matter what, how they buff them, if they buffed the Spy, for instance, they're gonna change his spot here. Unless if they give him a proper, like a different weapon, maybe like a zapper that destroys multiple buildings in exchange for maybe less damage over time. But I mean, this is the way I see it. If you guys disagree, just put it the comment down below at the comment section. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos like these. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.